friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie 0730. What? Tighten that neighborhood. My brothers and sisters, it is always a delight when we get to go back to who? Mike from that chapter. That Chapter Wednesday, Bean Team. Hope y'all doing excelente out there today. And I'm glad that you came on back to the channel once again to help with the Bean. And the title of the video is Woman Catfishes Cheating Fiancé into Killing Entire Family. Now, I just got so many questions with this title, y'all. Like, so you mean to tell me that this lady found out that her fiance was cheating on her, so she created like a fake profile on Tinder, Facebook, whatever, and was acting like she was somebody else, and that somebody else she was acting like she was convincing her husband to kill her entire family? That just sounds crazy as ish. And then another thing I'm wondering is, like, when it says entire family, does that include her family too, like her children, or do it just include like his side of the family, like his mama and daddy or his sister or brother? I don't know, Bean Team. As y'all can see, I got a lot of freaking questions with this one, and I'm ready to get into it. But before we get into it, Bean Team, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need, please. It is always a delight when we get to go back to Mike. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
Alright, nothing in this room.
Pumped in, the lights are off. It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday.
And no, there's lights on in the back room. You can see it through that second.
Go in the backyard real quick.
Not to find you or anything, but we came here and no one's answering the door.
When police arrived to the house on Concord Avenue, nothing could have prepared them for the horrifying scene that was waiting for them. And as the investigation continued, a story of lies, catfishing, and violence would come tumbling out. Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, I have a story for you that is truly strange, truly stranger than fiction, but like, in the most horrifying of ways. Now, you and I, let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go and get whatever you may need.
It was shortly after 8 p.m. on September 17th, 2023, which was a Sunday, that 2 calls were made to the Romeoville Police Department. Romeoville, it's a village in Will County, Illinois, about 40 minutes-ish southwest of Chicago. Small place, about 40,000 people live there. It's generally regarded as a pretty safe, quiet, comfortable place to live. Not a place where the phones in the emergency dispatch center would be hopping all the time. So 2 calls coming in, they were both regarding the exact same situation. It raised a couple of eyebrows. Just like a little bit on this very quiet early autumn Sunday evening when basically everybody's still at the bar watching Da Bears lose. The 2 calls were both asking the police to do a welfare check on 32-year-old Zoraida Bartolome. The first call came in from Zoraida's mom. The second call came from Zoraida's sister. Both had been trying all this Sunday to contact Zoraida and her family. She lived with her husband, Alberto, 38 years old, and the 2 children they had together, Adriel, 9, and Diego, 7. Calls to both Zoraida and Alberto all this Sunday had gone unanswered, and even one family member, one relative, had stopped by their house at 512 Concord Avenue to see if they were home, see what was going on, but they rang, knocked on the door, door knocks, ring rings, both going unanswered, and it seemed like there was no activity inside the house. So maybe they'd just gone out for the day, but the thing was, Alberto's mom had also rang around. So Zoraida's mom was ringing around, and his mom, Alberto's mom, was ringing around because Alberto had not shown up for work this day, and he had never missed a day of work in his life. So it was
like it's too many things that just lead the family to think that it's something wrong. Number one, they not answering the phone. Number two, somebody stopped by the house, they ain't there. And number three, come to find out that the husband ain't even go to work today. Oh no, something wrong, man. They ain't just out freaking shopping somewhere or whatever. They may be in trouble.
That evening then that the family called the police, feeling that something was very wrong here, something was off, something was no bueno.
Yep.
Lairway Communications, how can I help you?
Yes, please. I'm calling for my daughter, Zoraida Bartolome. She lives at 512 Concord Avenue, Romeoville, Illinois, and we haven't heard from her or her husband or her children during the whole day. No answering the phone. If somebody can go by the house and check them, because the husband, they called from his work that he didn't show up to work. And he never, he's always at work. All day today, I haven't heard from her.
But when did you last talk to her? Yeah,
last night.
Last night? Okay, I'm going to send officers over to check on her, and somebody will give you a call back, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, and who are we doing a welfare check on?
So it's my sister, Zoraida, and her husband, Alberto. I got a call from his job that he did a no-call, no-show, and me and various family members have called them. We talk to them every day, and it's just really unusual for them.
Okay.
Yeah, he's self-dispatched. Ooh. Thanks for coming.
At about 8:45 p.m., police arrived to do a welfare check at 512 Concord Avenue. They rocked up, themselves getting no answer, and all the lights in the front of the home were off.
I don't know, y'all. I'm getting freaking nervous now because earlier when I was like, oh, they may be in trouble, I wasn't even considering the fact that they may be in the freaking house dead. Long story short, short story long, man. I guess my brain just ain't want to come to that realization. You get what I'm saying? But that's probably what we dealing with right now. Let's find out.
Oh, boy.
Get on the phone with the 17 and call and figure out more information on this call.
Got it.
So, wandering around, they began to look through any windows they possibly could, shining flashlights in, just trying to get a peek to try and figure out what had happened. And they could see, almost off the bat, that something was not right. There were clear signs of violence. They could see a TV lying flat, as if there had been a struggle. A coffee table was upturned.
Hey, I got a TV knocked over and a coffee table knocked over. Romeo 367. Can we get another unit to Camden, please? Everything's done for. You see the TV in the, Hey, hold on. What? You look in this window? Nothing?
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, that's all the shit from the police.
Hi, Lydia. This is Officer Sean. I'm here at your daughter's house. When's the last time you spoke with your daughter? Last night? Okay. Did she say if there are any issues going on in the household? No? Okay. No arguments between her and her husband or anything? They were watching a movie? Okay. Not to find you or anything, but we came here and no one's answering the door.
Want to try that door real quick, Ron?
And then, in the rear of the home, even worse, they could see that 2 dogs looked like they were not breathing.
This one's open.
Let's go. See if you can just peek in the back. There's a window, right?
Yeah, 2 windows.
Yeah. I'll go this one now.
They called for more officers.
2 dead dogs.
I need more units here. Hold this.
Yep.
350, 307 Romeo.
I'm sorry. Hold on, ma'am. One moment.
Hey, open the trunk. I'll call you back. Units in 367. I'm waiting for at least one more to make entry. I'm looking for 2 more units because I want 2 units up front, while 3 make entry in the back. You want the shield? Or you know what? I kind of want to grab my rifle.
Grab your rifle. You go grab the rifle. You want me to take shield?
Yeah, I'm gonna be your lethal cover, Ron. Below. Stand by. Ma'am, go inside.
Go inside.
Hi, puppy.
Checking the door at the rear of the home, it was unlocked, so the officers let themselves in, called out, and came across the horrifying scene. In the hallway, they found Alberto. He had been shot dead. Continuing through, they would find the entire family all the exact same. Zoraida and her 2 boys, Adriel and Diego, were found in the master bedroom, all shot to death. Their bodies were found in the corner of the room as if they had been cowering in there. The door to the room looked like it had been busted in. Multiple shell casings were found around the home. There were bullet holes in some of the walls. A truly traumatizing scene, and the entire family slain. A good loving family with many who cared for them.
Like, who the freak could do this, man? Who did this, man? Like, seriously, it's one thing to just kill, but why you had to kill the 2 little boys and the dogs too? You know what I'm saying, Bean Team? Like, oh my goodness, some people are just freaking heart the freak less.
Relatives would say Zoraida and Alberto, they seemed grand. No real struggles between the 2 of them. Financially, they were doing great. Both Zoraida and Alberto had just recently gotten promotions, so there was no money troubles that could lead to a shooting. The family themselves did not own any firearms, so whoever left these many shell casings, which were scattered around the entire house, it wasn't their gun. The neighborhood was soon canvassed. Neighbors questioned, anybody hear anything, see anything, doorbell, ring cams, any of that type of stuff. Anybody catch anything going on in the middle of the night? And one neighbor who lived pretty close by the family would say that they had been woken up at around 3:30 a.m. early on the Sunday morning, in the very wee hours of that Sunday morning, by a loud bang. Now, they had thought at the time that it was thunder, so they had just kind of gone back to sleep, but that sounds then like this incident took place late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. No one else in the vicinity saw or heard anything.
Unless it was the husband who did it and then end up turning the gun on himself. Because I'm trying to understand the title, Bean Team. I know we just getting started with the story, but woman catfishes, cheating fiancé, and to killing entire family. I don't know how this one go, man. Let's just keep going.
Going through any available doorbell cams, a dark sedan was seen in the area during those hours, around 3:30 a.m., circling the block like a shark.
Children dead from gunshot wounds inside the home. This is in a residential neighborhood in Romeoville off Independence Boulevard. And while police say the investigation is in its early stages, investigators believe the shooting happened sometime early Sunday morning. They're asking anyone with information to contact the Romeoville Police Department. Neighbors now waking up to the horrific news this morning.
The family of both Zoraida and Alberto were absolutely devastated and clueless as to whoever could brutally butcher them. This became major news in this small, quiet, sleepy little town. And so the interviews began with the police and detectives going to both Zoraida's place of work and Alberto's place of work, as their families and relatives couldn't believe this was happening and were just clueless as to where they could even direct police to look. Maybe something had happened at their occupations. They also, as of course you can imagine, the next logical step, they began a thorough folks examination of all the phones that were found at the crime scene. Zoraida's and Alberto's, documenting, downloading every single little bit of data they could. Alberto, he worked at a warehouse. He had worked there for about 6 years. He did the late shift from, Sunday evenings to Thursdays, hence why on Sunday when he didn't show up for work, people noticed because he was known as a quiet, hard-working guy who just seemed generally happy. Nobody ever had any issues with him. He was a great worker. Devoted family man, no known enemies, and never spoke to any of his colleagues about, any kind of, shit going down beef he had. Nothing like that. It really seemed like these were the last people he would ever believe could end up like this. Was it a burglary gone wrong? Folks. Zoraida, though, meanwhile, bit of a different story from Alberto. So although Zoraida and Alberto were married, they had 2 kids together and they lived together. That house at 512 Concord Avenue, they had purchased that house together. It seemed like they were really just there to raise their children. As on the outside, people would say their relationship was great. Zoraida had cheated on Alberto a bit in the past, and he would have said that he was really just there for the kids. So when the police started to learn a couple of tree things about Zoraida and her work environment, it seemed like the only possible avenue the investigation could go down on. Zoraida worked at a place called Avanti Engineering. They make high-precision parts, screws, that sort of thing. And speaking with her colleagues and her boss, 2 names kept coming up in relation to Zoraida and who she knew at work. An Ermelinda Palomo, who did not work at Avanti, but another person who did work at Avanti Engineering, named Nathaniel Huey. Those names kept on coming up so much, they just knew they needed to speak with them, and on the victims' phones were message threads between them all. These 2 names, Ermelinda and Nathaniel, they were a couple, in fact. They were engaged to be married, if you can believe that. And they'd been together for about 8 years. They'd been a couple since about 2015. But see, the reason why these 2 names had come up was that colleagues at Avanti would say, Zoraida and Nathaniel, they were just best buds.
They say they've collected a, quote, tremendous amount of evidence from the home and are looking for any doorbell footage from neighbors that they might have. A couple, their 2 children, and their 3 dogs were found shot dead, that is, in their home Sunday night. Police now believe this is a targeted attack.
So it was literally the next day after the bodies were discovered, the 18th, that detectives went to Zoraida and Nathaniel's house to speak with them. Did they know anything? Could they have any clues as to who might want to hurt Zoraida and her family? They went there though, and knock, knock, knock. Nobody was home. Nobody was at the door. But as they were waiting outside the house to see if, there might be any signs of life, a red Chevy Tahoe pulled up. It pulled into the driveway, but then suddenly reversed back out and parked on the opposite side of the street. It was weird. It was like the car was coming to park here, but then saw the cops, the detectives standing outside, and didn't. That made the cops' spidey sense tingle just a tad. The detectives are like, okay, let's go to Avanti Engineering then. Maybe Nathaniel's in work. We'll head over there, right? We need to speak with them. And then while in the parking lot at Avanti, they noticed something else weird. they saw that same Chevy Tahoe pull into the car park and saw who they believed was Nathaniel walk over to it as it parked up and speak with someone in the back. Nathaniel and this red car then left. Detectives followed after them. Then they started doing a series of random turns, almost like they were trying to lose the detectives. Detectives who hadn't even spoken to them yet. They eventually tracked them both down separately. Nathaniel at work, Ermelinda at home.
We're investigating a murder. Okay? So...
And I'm just wondering, because now I'm pretty sure either both of them did it or one of the other did it. But I'm just wondering, like, why? That's still the major question for me right now. Like, why did they do this? I gotta read the title again, Bean Team. Woman catfishes cheating fiancé into killing entire family. I think I get it now, man. I know some of y'all might be like, man, Stack, you don't get it by now, but I'm thinking I'm understanding it now. So, not Zarada, she the one who died, but the couple, the murder couple, the lady of the couple is the one who catfished the black dude into killing Zoraida and them because she found out he was cheating on her with Zoraida, and so she told him to go kill all their family. Y'all get it, Big Team? I think that's what it is, man. Let's keep going.
And they also really began to learn how this engaged couple, how they were really connected to a murdered family. Ermelinda, she'd been married before, a few kids, but was divorced and had started a romantic relationship after meeting Nathaniel Huey at work back in 2015. They started dating and it became pretty serious. Over time, through various jobs, they worked together a couple of times. Like she would work at a bar, Nathaniel worked security, that kind of thing. Now, Nathaniel Huey had a criminal history, but nothing major really. Mostly driving offenses, a DUI, driving on a suspended license, that kind of thing. He was a very paranoid guy though, always thought he was being followed, would place tape over the cameras on his phone, even the red light on the TV, and if anyone removed it, he would lose his shit. Most recently, Nathaniel Huey had begun working at Avanti Engineering, and much like how his relationship with his fiancée Ermelinda began, he began another relationship at his new place of work. Nathaniel and Zoraida would themselves begin a romantic relationship starting in around September of 2022. He began cheating on Ermelinda with Zoraida. Zoraida began cheating on Alberto with Nathaniel. And the problem was that both their other halves would learn about this. They were very, very bad at hiding the fact that they were cheating and having affairs. Alberto, when he learned of it, he slashed Nathaniel's tires and left a note saying, stay away from Zoraida. Stay away from her. Nathaniel did not listen to that note. Ermelinda, she would learn of it, and Ermelinda was absolutely devastated when she found out her fiancé was cheating on her. And the thing was, though, well, this wasn't exactly Nathaniel's first rodeo. They had been together 8 years. He had cheated on her kind of a few times, really. I mean, she should have really gotten the message after the first time. Fool me once. I mean, come on now.
Hi, Ermelinda. My name is Detective Garcia. Hello. From the Romeo Police Department. This is Detective Wagner. Hello.
Ermelinda was questioned by the police on September 18th. Less than 24 hours after the bodies had been found, the police found numerous messages between the victims and the couple, and their names had come up when questioning family and colleagues. They were wasting no time here. And she told police that she'd only found out about the affair her fiancé and one of the murder victims were having that very day.
And I didn't know that.
You didn't know what?
That he was having an affair.
Okay.
When did you find that out? Right now?
Right now.
Okay, you already out for me, man. Now everything else you say from this point on, I can't even believe you. Because you get in the damn car, lying already, talking about you ain't know they was having an affair. Lady, do these people think Did you not think that these police already got all the freaking text messages and ish that y'all been sending back and forth? And even if they don't have it right now, don't you think that they will have it later? She already found out to be a liar, and we just got started asking her questions. At this point, everything she say, I'm gonna take with a grain of salt, being team.
Now that was a lie, a very poor one. Ermelinda had known about the affair the murder victim Zoraida and her fiancé Nathaniel had been having 4 months. She had learned about it ages ago by this stage. And the police had found pissed off messages Ermelinda had been sending Zoraida, threats even. But of course she was saying, oh, I just found out, that person murdered, my husband was sleeping with them. I just found out about it today, if you can believe that, because, well, if she had known about it for a while, the police might want to know, did you try and do anything about it? So she said, this is news to me.
When you find out about him, like, what happens? You guys get into arguments? Do you talk to the women that he's having affairs with?
No, for what?
I don't know.
No.
Leave your man alone kind of thing?
No, I'm too old for that. I'm 50 years old. There's no reason for me to, no. And quite honestly, it's not the female's fault. It's his fault.
Right.
So, no.
I mean, obviously you get upset over it.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to hold it back right now.
She said, though, that Nathaniel, while she herself had guns, Nathaniel had no guns. He liked to do a bit of airsofting, was pretty kind of tactical. He liked the gear and combat kind of stuff, but he didn't own any guns, and she could give it an alibi for Nathaniel the night of the murders, which is, I mean, you'd kind of think, right, the story so far is that she might try and get him done for it. She'd be so mad at him, throw him under the bus.
We're trying to find out who was involved. So we're talking to everyone. We're talking to you. We're talking to him. We're talking to other people because, as you may be aware, people like to the police, right? So we don't know who's lying. What I would like to ask you is, on either Friday or Saturday night, did he go out with his friends?
No.
Did he work?
Friday night? No, he was with me.
Saturday night?
No.
Are you telling me the truth?
Yeah.
100%?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be covering for Nate at all?
No, he was here. Even my daughter said he was here.
Trust me, nothing in this story makes sense.
Obviously, we talked to her family, we talked to friends and stuff, hence why we're here. I gotta ask, do you have anything to do with this? Okay. You know I have to ask, and you know that your number is going to be in her phone, and we're going to find your text messages, and we're going to find that stuff, and I want to get a surprise later on that you guys are fighting, or that there was something going on between you two, or the three of you that I don't know about, Nothing like that.
Nobody was threatening anybody or fighting.
I mean, in your head, if you could think of something like, oh, you guys should know about this, it's the time to tell us now before we find it later on, in the computer, or we find it in a phone message or something.
No, I didn't really know a whole lot about her life. I haven't even met a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Nathaniel, when he was...
That was a crazy last line, y'all. That man sat up there and said, I ain't never met her kids before. When you the reason that they are no longer here with us. Let's think about what he just said and just the evilness that it takes in somebody's freaking heart, brain, soul, whatever, to be able to say that to the police. That is crazy, man. This dude is a liar too. Both of them liar, pants on fire. And I just don't understand why he would do that to those children. Like, the children ain't got nothing to do with this damn affair, man. These are innocent bystanders, literally. They don't got nothing to do with that. They mama was cheating. You know what I'm saying? Like,
was not forthcoming at all. He was quiet, he was mumbling, he was nervous, especially with his phone.
And you said you talked to her on your phone, right? Okay. So what we'd like, or what we're asking for, is consent to get the text messages off your phone between you and her, or Snapchat or whatever it is between you, so we have both sides of it. We're trying to eliminate you as a suspect, but...
It's on the computer, right? You can get it on the computer.
No, we have to take the phone, we plug it in, we take it out, and then we give your phone back.
Oh, man, I haven't anything in that.
Yeah, we have a deceased girl and her last fling or boyfriend or whatever is you.
Clearly did not want them to see what was on it and wouldn't give it to them, saying, I'll give it to you later.
I agree with you, but again, there's it would take us, a couple hours to pull information off the phone that could eliminate you as a suspect.
It feels like you're pretty suspect enough, man.
Well, I'm not joking with you. We anytime somebody dies, you look at the husband, the boyfriend.
I don't want to give up my phone. You know what I'm saying? How about this? How about I come see you guys later today after work or something like that?
He was clearly planning on, wiping his phone or going through everything on his phone that he could possibly delete and delete it and then give it to, oh, sorry, did I wipe that? But the thing was, there was no chicken shit small time stuff on his phone. It was real scary things. I don't think he thought that the police would catch up to them or start questioning him as soon as they did, which was the day after the murders. As the police had been questioning them both, the couple were almost trying to look like suspects. Bad liars and uncooperative, hiding something, and with a strong motive for murder. A twisted love triangle that would soon reach unbelievable status. A motive that, as the police began going through phones, they found message after message after message of anger, of vitriol, and also messages that linked to a gang of very dangerous killers. See, after Ermelinda found out about the affair, she began messaging Zoraida. She messaged her on her phone, had found her Facebook account. Basically, stay away from my man, don't talk to Nathaniel. I know that you're sleeping with him, he's my man, he's my fiancé. Stay away from him if you know what's good for you. And threatening messages saying, he's dangerous. Only I can handle him. She threatened Ermelinda saying, if you continue sleeping with my man, I'm going to tell your entire family you're a cheater. I'm going to tell your husband you're a cheater. And she was true to her word. She sent a message to Alberto on Facebook saying, hello, you do not know me, but I must tell you something regarding your wife. And so Ermelinda was also messaging him, telling him all about the affair and kind of threatening him also, not saying she was going to do anything, but basically saying Nathaniel is a scary man, a dangerous man. You need to make sure your partner stops seeing him or else something bad will happen. And things would get even more deadly when a mysterious organization of killers became involved in this twisted story. This love triangle would soon become something bigger than a triangle, because it was on April 18th, 2022, that Nathaniel, he received his first message. Order, you might say. And Nathaniel would keep receiving these messages for about a year and a half, from April 18th, 2022 to September 18th, 2023, the day after the murders. The messages were from a shadowy group who said they were hitmen and hackers and were connected to Mexican cartels and Bulgarian gangs. Shit's getting real, folks. They spoke of ties with these criminal organizations that Nathaniel's fiancée, Ermelinda, had, and they began threatening Nathaniel, telling him they were watching him, telling him that they were like, we'll chop your head off, real Mexican cartel style, that they were watching him every move he made, and that if he knows what's good for him, he better end it with Zoraida and treat Ermelinda well and start having sex with her again as well. You better do that, Nathaniel, or else this gangs of Bulgarians and Mexicans are gonna make trouble for you. And if he didn't comply, Nathaniel, his family, and Zoraida and her family, they would all be murdered. These communications were on Facebook, on all social media platforms, on messages, like on text messages. He would be texting various people, some Bulgarians, some Mexicans. He even got the nickname, or the pseudonym ID, whatever, Skrilla. That was his name. That would be Nathaniel's name. They didn't even get him to do anything. It was basically just like, we know who you are. We're watching you. Get your shit together, because we are like a shadowy octopus with tentacles in every part of your life. Nathaniel...
This is just crazy that Nathaniel actually believed in this secret mafia / drug cartel killer Mexican Bulgarian people who texting him, when long story short, story long, is Ermelinda trying to scare him into stop effing with Zoraida. Like, dude, like, you really believe that this is some real people to the point where it's gonna force you to kill that lady whole family? and then Ermelinda just is effed up in the head for even doing this ish. Like you want him to stop cheating on you so bad, so you will come up with this sick plot to do all this. Crazy.
Would get emails saying, "Oh, hey, we see you, at Walmart. We see you driving down to sort of," and where Nathaniel actually was. Nathaniel, already a very paranoid person, this kind of like had those gears grinding. Ermelinda, she would say, "Yeah, they're messaging me too." She said she would be in contact with a person named Turtle, a Lisa, a Claudia, random strange people who would sometimes speak in Spanish, sometimes they would speak in Bulgarian, but they were scary people. Zoraida and Alberto, they were getting messages from this gang. This gang were constantly questioning Nathaniel's worthiness, and Nathaniel, who did airsoft every weekend and was into all that tactical type shit, he wanted to prove he was. He felt he'd been chosen by these mysterious people. On one hand, he felt special, being given the name Skrilla. On the other hand, if he didn't do what they said, they may kill him and his family. Thing was, though, Nathaniel wasn't doing what they said because he didn't end his affair with Zoraida. But these Bulgarians and Mexicans, they began to tell him that someone he knew was a mole who was planning on attacking him. Nathaniel had absolutely no idea who he was, but as I've already said, he's a very paranoid guy, so he just became super paranoid that somebody was out to kill him. So yeah. Now, this may come as a massive shock to some of you, maybe even all of you, but this particular Mexican cartel and Bulgarian gang, they didn't exist. Of course they didn't exist. It was all Ermelinda. It's pretty shocking. Take a moment. Ermelinda was catfishing her own fiancé. She was a nut job.
Crazy.
She discovered he was having an affair and so pretended to be these hard bastards to try and scare him out of the affair he was having. Scare Zoraida out of the affair they were having. Alberto, even. And then, when that wasn't working, she went the other route. Have Nathaniel murder her rival for his affections. Not just her entire family. And he did it. Ermelinda was an absolute psychopath. Her searches on Google are gas. She would set up all these fake numbers, these fake accounts, fake email addresses, and was pretending to be these various Bulgarian gang members and various Mexican gang members, sending him all of these messages, sometimes in very poorly translated Bulgarian, basically trying to appear like she was, a very scary person. Later on her computer, Google searches were found. Google searches like, how to get in the dark web, Bulgarian buff, military mugshots. Is there an app that allows me to track my husband? My apologies in Bulgarian. Slang words for guns. Ermelinda had come up with this weird method of catfishing Nathaniel for a long time, before he had even met Zoraida and the affair began. She seemed to just want to play on his paranoias, creating multiple personas, and over the course of a couple of years, really beginning all the way back in December of 2021, convincing Nathaniel he was part of this Mexican and Bulgarian criminal organization. It's cuckoo pants.
Yeah, this lady cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for real, man. Now that the fact Mike said that she already had started this fake gang-ish tricking Nathaniel before he even started having an affair with her. Like, this was just her little game to play. Crazy ass game. Crazy ass lady.
She began to convince Nathaniel that Zoraida and her family posed a very grave threat to him, a threat that had to be eliminated. Ermelinda took on the personas of multiple people, and based on how Nathaniel was replying to these messages, he fully believed he was communicating with some real tough goons. Ermelinda was truly able to play on his paranoia. I mean, that's the only way this entire story makes sense. Like, how and why Nathaniel bought in to this mysterious group who just randomly messaged him out of the blue. How he bought into it, it's just so outlandish. But she was just slowly able to manipulate him into believing it and doing some like unthinkable things because of it.
And another thing real quick, y'all, because it just came to my mind real quick, Bean Team. The fact that Nathaniel only was getting messages from these people. Like he never freaking actually talked to one of them. Never heard none of these people's voices before. You know what I'm saying? I would have told him, well, I couldn't talk to him, but I would have texted him like, man, if you want me to believe you, call me right now and let me talk to you on the phone. You know what I'm saying, man? Matter of fact, let me meet you in person. Let's meet at a freaking grocery store or McDonald's or Walmart or something, because just because of you sending me these damn messages, for all I know, you could be anybody in the freaking world. And come to find out, it was his own girl, friend, fiance, whatever. Let's go.
Mind boggles. She used like the Pinger app to generate fake numbers that she could text from, so they would appear like they were coming from loads of different people. She would be texting him saying, oh, you know, we're watching you, Nathaniel. We see where you are. Well, she was sitting right beside him. She created this entire fictional organization, the ECU, the Ermelinda criminal universe, in her head, inventing this entire backstory for this guy. And Nathaniel was like, hell yeah. Ermelinda, as one of these fictional characters, was messaging, telling her fiancé, stop having your affair, have sex with me more, which is sad, and just treat her better, which is even sadder. I know how you feel about Zoraida. However, for a roof over your head, you may want to rethink about being with your wife for the time being. It will only be a matter of time before your wife gives in to a proposition from another male. Men find your wife beautiful, not that you care. Love tends to die when one you love stops show affection. Instead of love you, say I love you to wife. Your wife always looks very mean, not a person in love. You do not have to listen, simply to hear. Leave Zoraida alone, focus on you and wife. Treat wife the manner you treat Zoraida. Send picture, be spontaneous. When you leave, then leave wife, but don't engage with others. Yeah.
And see, like a message like that made me think like, bro, Nathaniel, it never occurred to you that maybe this is your wife sending these messages? Because that's basically her talking to him through a fake persona, or fake profile or whatever, fake username, fake boogeyman. Like, seriously, man, like, dude, you should have been like, man, that's Emma trying to tell me to stop cheating on her. Long story short, story long, trying to finesse me, whatever. This is crazy that he believed this ish.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to imagine some tough Bulgarian gangster writing this, send a message to Nathaniel, tell him love wife. Sure, they weren't even married yet. And she was texting Zoraida and Alberto as this fictional group. Alberto wanted nothing to do with it, or whatever Zoraida was involved with. He just wanted to be happy with his kids. He was only in the relationship for them. Zoraida, she was terrified getting these messages from this gang. She was so scared. She would go to Nathaniel, you know, while they were working together or whenever they could get together in like hotel rooms, you know, be together. Zoraida was freaking out, but she'd go to Nathaniel, who would just be like calm, who would be trying to calm her down, you know, saying he was like, you know, tough guy. If they try and harm any of us, Nathaniel will sort them out. That was, of course, until this mysterious gang told Nathaniel that Zoraida, she was the mole. Ermelinda sent this message as one of her personas to Nathaniel, naming Zoraida on the mole that was planning on attacking him on Thursday, September 14th, 2023. The Thursday before the Sunday morning. That Thursday, both Nathaniel and Zoraida were due in for work in Avanti, and co-workers would say things were very tense between the two of them, but Zoraida had no idea why. Like, Nathaniel wouldn't even speak to her. He truly believed she was going to try and kill him. He ended up leaving work that day early, saying he was unwell, and he stayed out of work till the following Monday when police caught up with him and questioned him. Then he went home for the weekend, and Nathaniel and one of the cartel members, Bulgarian cartel members, Ermelinda, they began messaging each other, planning out the murder of Zoraida's family. He scouted out where she lived. He, you know, tried to spot where all the cameras were, how to get the easiest access into her house, what's the best way to get into her house. Watching everything, driving around it multiple times, going to the store, buying new clothes. And he actually let Ermelinda in. The real, I'm talking Ermelinda, in on what he was going to do. Because of course, Ermelinda herself had been in contact with this shadowy group. So he says to her, you know, that girl I'm having an affair with, she's gonna kill me. Ermelinda was like, shit. Well, I guess I'll help you kill them. And over this weekend, up until the Sunday morning, Zoraida was trying to call Nathaniel. She was texting him saying, I love you. Why aren't you talking to me? What's going on? Nathaniel would get messages from the cartel saying, you know, make it look like kids do it. You know, many murders go unsolved. This will just be another one. It's insane that she was feeding him this and he would truly go along with it. The day before the murders, Turtle was messaging Nathaniel about how it will be done. Turtle, of course, Ermelinda. Go through backyard at 3 a.m. Hard entry into back door. First obstacle, the fence, then the storm door. 3 dogs, 2 midsize, 1 ankle biter. Drop dogs as they present. Move through, locate and hit the 2 adults first. Then 2 kids. Destroy shit in the house. Get the out. Grab phones for destruction. Get out. Clothes burned, phones destroyed. Bet. Your wife bust the nut, it help relax your ass.
Oh my God, did y'all read the last message? What? Man, I swear to God, y'all, this goddamn story is so freaking crazy, man. This one of those ones that seriously could be a crazy ass movie. Like, oh my, it sound like a movie. This don't even sound real that this happened. This lady acting like the Bulgarian killer, man, that then sent Nathaniel to go kill these people. The last thing in the instruction manual was go home and go your wife, Melinda, bust a nut, relax. Are you serious? Let's go. I'm almost at a loss for words now. This is just like, how in the hell did this man believe this ish?
Melinda drove Nathaniel to the house and she waited in the car while he went in and did it. He climbed a fence, he cut the screen to make it look like a burglary, and he went in through the back of the house. Alberto was still awake at this time. About 3:40 a.m., he heard an intruder, and Nathaniel opened up on him. Alberto ran down the hallway. Nathaniel shot him 5 times in the hall, where he collapsed. The door to Zoraida's bedroom, where she was with her 2 kids, was locked upon hearing the gunshots outside. Nathaniel tried to kick it down, but she was holding it, crying out for help, on the other side of the door. So Nathaniel shot through the door, hitting her. She dropped. He then went in, killed her, and her children. Doing all of this believing that Zoraida was planning on killing him. He killed the parents and then he killed the kids because he believed the kids were better off dead than alive with no parents. That's what he would later on say. The 2 dogs in house, they tried to run away. They were scratching at the door to try and get out. Nathaniel shot them both. The entire incident lasted only about 3 minutes. And he was on radio. He was on like walkie-talkie with Ermelinda, who's parked outside the entire time. Nathaniel was supposed to trash the house. He didn't really do a whole lot of trashing. And he was supposed to spray paint "F you putos" on the house, but he only managed to get the F out. The spray paint can was busted. And he was also supposed to take Alberto and Zoraida's phones. But in the rush, I guess he forgot. And so the police would find all of these messages between Ermelinda, Nathaniel, Zoraida, Alberto, and the mysterious gang and put all of this together.
We have in our possession some phones, okay? And in those phones, we're doing what it's called a phone dump. So what happens is if anybody's talking on a text app that you can download, for example, Text Now, we can retrieve those messages.
Okay.
We have retrieved those messages. All right, we've read them. They're pretty clear that somebody's pretty upset at the victim. Okay. Is there any way that these text messages are going to come back to you, or your name, or your phone, or anything associated with that? Okay.
You're obviously upset, and I should have started with, sorry for your loss. I know it's not your wife, but it's somebody you're in a relationship with, and you're in a weird spot because now you have to go home and pretend like nothing happened. Yeah.
Did she ever tell you, like, you know, I'm worried, I'm scared of my husband, or I'm worried, I'm scared of a neighbor?
It was after the police questioned them both and announced that we need you at the station for a few more questions that Ermelinda and Nathaniel stopped talking to the police. The very next day, which was Tuesday, September 19th, Ermelinda told her daughter that she was about to be charged with murder, but was going to go along with the police, cooperate. However, she never showed up for the interview with the detectives. Instead, her and Nathaniel went to speak with an attorney, and then they went to a Target. It was there that Nathaniel met his own mom, and he told her what he had done. Those murders you're hearing about in the news, yeah, that was me. And that, yeah, he killed the kids because they were better off dead than without parents.
Ma'am, can't go near the car right now. It's evidence. Yeah, we're getting a search warrant for it. Okay, so unfortunately you can't touch the car right now. Okay? All right.
Ermelinda, she went home and tried to enter her own car, but was prevented by police who feared, as she had already skipped a detective's interview, that she would try and do a legger. The vehicle was also due to be seized for a pending search warrant, but there wasn't a warrant out to arrest her just yet, so they let her walk away. Then the following morning after that, Ermelinda was reported missing by her family. Nobody could get in touch with Ermelinda. Right in the middle of this crazy quadruple homicide investigation, people began to fear the worst. Ermelinda was put into police databases as endangered, likely kidnapped by her fiancé, who has just completely lost it. He's lost the plot, and who knows what he's done with her. Alerts were put out for Nathaniel and his license plate, so cameras would start tracking where they were driving. Where he was driving was in Catoosa, Oklahoma. Police spotted him there with the cameras that read those license plates, and he was tracked to a Walmart, and the couple were seen shopping in the store, having a grand old time. Seemed like they were happy, relaxed, content. Nobody was holding anybody against their will, it seems, and it began to look like they were going to go on the run together. At this point in the story, you really got to ask yourself, what did Nathaniel know about this mysterious cartel? Was he aware that the Mexican cartel, these Bulgarian gangs, didn't exist and it was all in his fiancé's insane brain that she had? Did he still believe that they were out there? Or, like, by this stage, had Ermelinda told him, oh, hey, that shit you've been talking to, you know, he murdered, that was me. Sorry, tricked you, catfished you. Or was he still believing they were real? I mean, it's kind of psycho behavior and weird. Like, how could he be this dumb to believe it? But we don't know. We don't know how much he believed till the very end. We will never know. We will never know because of what happened next.
Going westbound on Rocky Horse. We're still traveling westbound on 63.
Police approached them in the parking lot of that Walmart, and they booked it in the vehicle, and a car chase began on the highway, the Catoosa police in hot pursuit. Only a short distance down the road, though, their vehicle drifted into the center divider on the highway and crashed. Police surrounded Ermelinda and Nathaniel's vehicle, but smoke began to emanate from the car.
Get out of the vehicle! Get out! Where you going? Yep. Where you going?
Yeah.
This was followed by 3 gunshots. 1 into Ermelinda's head, killing her. 2 from Nathaniel into his own, ending him.
On your right. Moving on to your right behind you.
Yeah, this a movie ish for real, Bean Team. I'm serious, man. This ish could literally be on Netflix. Like, what in the freak, man? Just the ending of it. They went out in flames, so to speak, because the car was on fire. But y'all know how I hate that ish too. And I think even Ermelinda agreed, or she maybe was the one to convince him in that moment. We not going to jail. Kill me, then kill yourself. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, oh my God, this couple was crazy on so many levels.
This horrifying case came to an end in a fiery GMC on an Oklahoma highway.
Nathaniel Huey Jr. was wanted for the murders of 2 adults and their 2 young boys. License plate reader technology pinged the suspect's car all the way in Oklahoma, where pursuit ended in a fiery crash. Huey was found dead in the driver's seat with a gunshot wound. His passenger, a woman considered another person of interest, had also been shot. She later died. Neighbors of Huey were surprised to hear about his alleged involvement.
He never showed anything of that nature. So I don't know what it might have been that caused him to do this, but just a normal neighbor.
That was it. That was case closed in the Romeoville quadruple homicide. Everybody who was involved in this case ended up dead. Ended up shot dead. The police obviously, well, they uncovered the entire story I just told you about why they were killed, the background to it, the motive, which this much crazy is unbelievable. But this is the story of why it was done. I can't wrap my head around it, and I just spent a couple of days researching this story. Like, you gotta wonder in the last moments, in the car, the fiery GMC, it's believed that Nathaniel started the fire in the car. I guess he was prepared to go out with a bang. He literally did. Did Ermelinda tell him in their final moments, this gang didn't exist, it was all me. I manipulated you into murdering a family because you were cheating on me. It's just a bizarre and horrifying story of lies and brutality. Really tragic, and it just ends with everyone dead. No one walks away. No one knows the full truth. The horror is all that's left behind. Like, at the end of the story, really the only thing you can say is... shit.
Shit.
Thank you so much for watching. It truly means the world to me that you are here watching this whole video. I hope you found it as fascinating, bizarre, batshit bananas as I did researching this story and going through all the footage and the reports. Folks, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. As always, if you're looking for some more of that chapter, please check out the Patreon. For $2 a month, you get early access to all videos, Patreon-only Discord, and Patreon-exclusive videos. Check out the merch, link down below, or just go type in That Chapter, Fourth Wall, for hoodies and hats and some cool stuff which I really like. Or check out the That Chapter podcast, where every Monday, brand new podcast exclusive episode told only on That Chapter podcast, folks. And then every Friday, it's either listener stories or the audio of one of these episodes. So if you're more into just listening to stuff, you can check out these stories there. And yeah, I guess that kind of just wraps it up. So until I see you in the next little video, please take care of each other and please take care of yourselves. Because guess what, folks? I love you. Mike out.
This was a crazy That Chapter Wednesday, Bean Team. Like Mike said, man, it's so much going on in this story. It's hard to even wrap my freaking head around all of it. It's one of those ones that kind of give me a little slight headache at the end of it. You know what I'm saying, man? I can feel it in my brain. My brain just gone into overload thinking about this craziness, Bean Team. Oh my freaking God, man. And another key thing that he said, that everybody involved in this story is no longer living. I'm talking about on both sides of the equation, which makes it even more crazy, man. And you do wonder, even if Nathaniel didn't know that Ermelinda was being the fake group, the Illuminati, I'm just gonna call them because I feel like it. Even if he didn't know that she was the one who was the Illuminati when he actually carried out the murders, but afterwards, did it ever come a time before they end up ending their own lives that she revealed the truth to him? I wouldn't even be mad at y'all if y'all think that maybe he did know, but he was just going along with it anyway. Like, I don't know, y'all. There's a lot of theories and stuff you can come up with this one, man. There's a lot more I can say, Big Team, but I know we have been here long enough, and I already know I have said enough. And last thing I'll just say is nothing, I guess, I don't know. No. I was finna say I guess it's justified because of how Nathaniel was thinking. But I gotta speak on this real quick. Just the fact that the reason he said that he killed the children was because they would be better off without living. They'll be better off not living without their parents or some little dumb ass explanation. That was the most stupidest shit I heard in this video. The explanation he gave for killing the children, y'all. Like, that's when it's like, man, it made me wonder, was he just a freaking crazy maniac who wanted to murder any damn way, killing the kids? I digress, BT. Like I said, I'm gonna let y'all go, man. I appreciate y'all coming on back as always. And before you leave, just please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that if you ain't did that yet. And remember this: love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.